Call this meeting of the Monticello City Council to order. Would you please rise and join me in reciting the pledge? Remain standing as Rodney Burris leads us in prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Father, for this day, and thank you for the ability to make decisions about our city and about our community. We ask you to give us wisdom and grace as we walk through this, and discernment to make the right decisions. We thank you and praise you in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Please.
Mr. Woodham,
Here.
Mr. Carey,
Here.
Ms. Lively, Mr. Piercy,
Here.
Mr. Brock,
Here.
Mr. Broderick,
Here.
Mr. Kuhn,
Here.
Mr. Burris,
Here.
and Ms. Yoon. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. In-person participation, public participation. This is an opportunity for the public to provide public comment to the presiding officer. Those wishing to speak are required to sign in prior to commencement of the meeting and must address council from the seat and table provided. The public comments must comply with ordinance 2014-02 and be limited to 5 minutes or less. And I see there's no one in the house except Jaron, and I don't think he wants to talk. Do you? I didn't think. Remote participation. This is an opportunity for the public to provide public comment to the presiding officer. The public comments must comply with ordinance 2014-02 and be limited to 5 minutes or less. At this time, members of the public are able to attend public meetings by web conference, to submit public comment by email, voicemail, or through web conference. Maura? Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. Approval of documents and action items is listed. Claims report. Claims dated August 13, 2024 through August 26, 2024. Meeting minutes. City Council meeting minutes August 12th. City Council closed session meeting minutes August 12, 2024. Planning and Zoning Board meeting minutes January 16, 2024 and July 15, 2024. Budget report July 2024. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Any comments or questions for city staff?
I have two questions about finance, please. The police side, the $1,000 emergency vet bill, was that to handle the 2 dogs out of Monroe Street?
Yes.
And the multiple $1,000 charges to Gulliford Sanitation, is that to remove the sludge from the wastewater treatment plant?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Not seeing or hearing anyone. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Woodham,
Yes.
Mr. Carey,
Yes.
Ms. Lively. Yes. Mr. Piercy,
Yes.
Mr. Brock,
Yes.
Mr. Broderick,
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn,
Yes.
Mr. Burris,
Yes.
Ms. Yoon. Yes. Motion passes.
Thank you. Mayor's report, August 26, 2024. Brackett and Company will hold their grand opening on Saturday, September 7th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Stop by their location at 216 West Washington Street to welcome them to downtown. Upcoming events, Piatt County Cars and Barbecue this Friday, August 30th, 6 o'clock p.m. at Piatt County Forest Preserve Park. Fairy tale rides will be at the Piatt County Forest Preserve Park on Saturday, August 31st from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Ticket sales for the Monticello Railroad Museum's Polar Express will start at 8 o'clock a.m. on Saturday, September 7th. And don't forget the farmers market on Thursdays, 3 to 6 o'clock p.m. in downtown Monticello. Moving on to new business. Resolution 2024, resolution for a conditional use permit for multiple main structures at Lot 2 in Jefferson Parkway, City of Monticello, Piatt County, Illinois. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. What you have in front of you is a resolution for a conditional use permit for multiple main structures at Lot 2 in Parkway out there by Kirby, which that is what the subdivision used to be called before it was known as the Kirby Medical Center area. So just to give you a little reference of where it is, and I provided a vicinity map in your council packet so you could kind of get an idea what we're talking about. It's undeveloped land at this time. It's at the end of we previously developed for the daycare that's being built out there by Mr. Maxman at this time. So the applicants, Jaron and Alicia Maxman, the prospective property owners, are seeking a request for a conditional use permit and a variance that will be filed with the city of Monticello, and it was heard at the Planning and Zoning Board by Mr. Maxman. The conditional use that we're talking about now was as described in the city of Monticello zoning regulations 153.017 table I for 3 multifamily dwellings that be constructed after the issuance of the conditional use permit. Granting the conditional use permit will not be detrimental or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, general welfare, or of the normal operation or development and improvement of the surrounding areas. The public hearing was held. No comments were received by staff at the Planning and Zoning Board where they had the public hearing on Monday, August 19th at 7 o'clock. The board reviewed the documents and associated with the project and testimony and recommended approving the conditional use permit to the council. Attached you have with that action item is the PZB memo, the vicinity project exhibit, and the resolution that goes along with it. So it's recommended the city council discuss and approve this conditional use permit for multiple main structures lot 2 of Jefferson Parkway, City of Monticello, at today's meeting.
I see Jaron's here this evening. Are there any questions of city staff or Mr. Maxman?
Only from the standpoint that PZB never says no. All of you that have been here, I hope you've noticed that. They never say no. The setbacks that we're changing, I'm not sure why we have setback rules, because everybody that wants to construct wants more room.
We're not setting back until peace. Okay.
It does not say that.
No, that's the.
No,
That's what they're.
B is the ordinance. A is the resolution.
Pardon me.
Was there any comments or questions? Is there a motion to approve resolution 2024-41, a resolution for a conditional use permit for multiple main structures at lot 2 at Jefferson Parkway, City of Monticello, Pike County, Illinois?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there comments or questions? Hearing or seeing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Woodham,
Yes.
Mr. Carey,
Yes.
Ms. Lively,
Yes.
Mr. Piercy,
Yes.
Mr. Brock,
Yes.
Mr. Broderick,
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn,
Yes.
Mr. Burris,
Yes.
Ms. Young.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-42, an ordinance granting a variance adjusting the front side and rear yard setbacks in lot 2 Sage Fields Commercial Subdivision, City of Monticello, Pike County, Illinois. Jim?
Okay, thank you, Mayor and Council. So yes, this is an ordinance granting a variance adjusting the front side and rear yard setbacks in lot 2 Sage Fields Commercial Subdivision, City of Monticello, Pike County, Illinois. Mr. and Mrs. Maxman, the prospective property owners, are seeking a variance that is filed with the City of Planning and Zoning, filed at the City of Planning and Zoning Board by Maxman to request a variance adjusting the yard setbacks as described in 153.019A3, Table 2. The front will be adjusted to 15 from 25. The side will be adjusted to 5 from 15, and the rear will be adjusted to 10 from 20. And the attached exhibit shows kind of the dimensions of how that is being situated in there. It's only one corner of the building that is going to encroach into the rear yard setback and the front yard setback. It's just the way the lot is shaped, and the cul-de-sac that we require for turnaround pushes everything kind of back. And so there was some overlap into the setbacks. We did, however, look at the safety issues surrounding these prospective buildings, and that there's nothing around there because onto one side of it, there's the detention pond that is for the benefit of Hollybrook. And then on the other side is where Mr. Maxman has his daycare, and it's eventually going to be a parking lot, and there's a drainage easement there. Because we did look at, would this be detrimental to having potential future buildings being built? Because there's so much open space, it didn't feel like it was necessary to have that much separation between buildings, because it would the existing. And there's plenty of separation between the buildings being proposed. So granting the variance will not be, as I said, not detrimental to the public health, safety, morals, comfort, and general welfare of the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding properties. The property is surrounded by open space and management's other property. A public hearing was held at the PZB regular scheduled meeting August 19, 2024 at 7 o'clock. The board reviewed the documents associated with the project and testimony, recommended approval, adjustment of setbacks. There were no comments made by the public. Attached is a PZB motion, vicinity map, project exhibit, and the ordinance 2024-42. It's recommended City Council discuss and approve the ordinance 2024-42, granting a variance, adjusting the front, side, rear yard setbacks on that lot at today's meeting.
The vote on that, was it
Yes.
was PZB? Was it
It
unanimous?
was unanimous, yes, for everybody that was there.
Wendell?
Only that I believe the setbacks are too small. A 5 foot side to side, not enough room. We're jumping them towards the street, 10 feet, jumping the back in 10 or 15 feet. I understand that the developer wants to utilize all the property. I'm well aware of that. It's a big investment, but we're packing them in there pretty tight, guys. And the zoning regulations have been around for a long time. And every time that somebody wants to adjust them, we adjust them down. Nobody wants to go farther back. Everybody wants to come in tighter. I just think I think they're too tight. That's all I got to say.
Anyone else?
I would say to that, there's not 5 feet between buildings.
Right.
It's 5 feet from one of the angular lot line between this site and the daycare site. It's one corner of the building, and it's just a rear angular lot line. But most of the other setbacks are met, but we have to reduce all of them for one situation. Just, I don't know if that was clear.
That was clear.
Now,
I'm proud of you. That was good. I understood it.
okay.
Understand?
Anyone else? Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2024-42, an ordinance granting a variance adjusting the front side and rear yard setbacks at Lot 2 Sage Fields Commercial Subdivision, City of Monticello, Piatt County, Illinois? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any more comments or questions? Not hearing any or seeing any. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Woodham?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Lively? Yes. Mr. Piercy?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. Broderick?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Ms. Hume?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Moving on to resolution 2024-43, a resolution approving a contract for the improvements at PFC, Private First Class Robert C. Burke Memorial Park. Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This project was presented and approved by the City Council for inclusion in this year's general fund budget with a proposed expenditure of $6 million for the improvements to this park and the development of Freedom Park. The attached bid analysis letter includes the bid tab showing the results of 4 bidders. This resolution awards the project to Petrie Cooney for $2,423,365 as a base bid, and then a unit price for subgrade remediation of $1,000 per square yard. The subgrade remediation is an unknown. We won't know the subgrade conditions until we excavate where they're putting the additional parking. So there was kind of an addendum from the engineers to address what might occur. As a cost savings measure, our skilled public works department has removed the playground equipment and surfaces, the existing basketball court, the existing tennis courts, and some miscellaneous concrete sidewalks. We'll also install a new water service to the new drinking fountain that has a bottle filler on it that I understand the pickleballers are ecstatic about bottle filler on there. The construction start date is tentatively scheduled to begin in September of this year. We will know more when the contractor schedule upon execution of this contract. We actually have a pre-construction meeting later this week. We'll have some more information. It's tentatively scheduled to be completed by mid-May of next year before the pool opens up Memorial Day weekend. At this time, PFC Robert C. Burke Memorial Park is closed to the public for the remainder of the year through next May, obviously. And then also the purchase of the playground equipment and playground surfacing are through another company. It's a straight purchase from, I forget what it's called, but it's if you belong to Illinois Parks Communities Foundation, they have in essence went out and got lowest bids, kind of like a state bid for a fleet vehicle. So if you deal with this one company, it is tentatively or supposed to be the lowest bid. So we'll buy it straight from that company and then it will be installed by their installer who knows how to install that rubber surface and playground equipment. And that'll be an additional cost of approximately $540,000. Those are the costs for construction only. There's going to be some obviously construction engineering, but we're still going to be below this park's part of that budgeted $6 million. So it is recommended the city council discuss and approve resolution 2024-43 as presented at tonight's meeting.
Any comments or questions, Terry?
What size for the subgrade remediation, how many square yards are we looking at there potentially?
It is absolutely unknown, Brian.
Because I noticed that Petrie County has a huge jump in that.
Yeah, and that's absolutely correct. And we talked about that when we opened the bids and felt it was in the best interest to accept the lowest base bid and then deal with any subgrade remediation that might be needed. When we redid Sage Drive a few years back, right by the playground, just east of Market Street, south side of Sage Drive, we ran into a really nasty subgrade. Trucks backing up with hot mix asphalt were sinking into the ground, into the subgrade. So, you have to remediate that. So hopefully it's not a lot.
Now, as far as the playground equipment is concerned, I know this is separate from that, but has there been is there going to be special needs? Okay.
Yeah, there'll be special needs and there'll be for a variety of special needs. And then it's kind of like Nick's Park. It's separated, if you will, into two kind of age groups. Got the younger kids in kind of one section of it and the older kids in another.
Okay.
That all right? Anyone else?
I would assume that if Mother Nature has a hand in this, that if it's not finished by end of May, that will just delay the opening of the pool until it's finished? Or is there a stopping point in there?
No, I think we can still open up. Depends on where they're at with construction, but my hope would be we still open the aquatic center. And then we, maybe there's some seeding or something still needs to be done with this improvement. And I'm hoping to have some sort of rededication ceremony for the project as well. And Callie and I met with Mr. Woodham there about one of his classes actually building the bike racks for the project. So he was working with his class to get some, it's undecided yet, but an appropriate theme bike rack. If you remember, his classes did the bike rack at Nick's Park, and they did the butterflies at Gabby's gazebo.
Kids are really excited about
Oh,
this.
cool.
Yeah,
We're pretty pumped, so.
yeah, it's a great partnership we have with the school's industrial arts programs.
Any other questions? Concerns?
When you're talking about the parking lot, are you talking about the one by the pool or the one like by the playground, like on the other side?
So the existing parking lot, nothing's happening.
Okay.
And the new paved parking lots will be you pull in 90 degrees to the road, and they will be kind of adjacent on each side of the road by the tennis courts. And then on the west side of the site, where it's gravel now, will be paved. And then there'll be same type of parking on the north side of Washington Street, on the south side of Burke Park. Yeah, that's it.
Anyone else? Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2024-43, a resolution approving a contract for the improvements at PFC Robert C. Burke Memorial Park? Moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any more comments or questions? Hearing or seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Woodham,
Yes.
Mr. Carey,
Yes.
Ms. Lively,
Yes.
Mr. Piercy,
Yes.
Mr. Brock,
Yes.
Mr. Broderick,
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn,
Yes.
Mr. Burris,
Yes.
and Ms. Young.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Moving on to Resolution 2024-44, a resolution for the City Council of the City of Monticello, amending the city budget for fiscal year 2024. Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City Council adopted Resolution 2023-70 last November, approving this fiscal year's budget. With discussion recently ensuing among city council members regarding the condition of the pavement of Main Street from Independence to Pyatt and Independence Street from Marion to William, a total amount of $1,120,000 was included in the FY24 budget for the pavement rehabilitation of Grant Street and Buchanan Streets. Of that, $750,000 was in the general fund and $370,000 was in the MFT fund, again for Grant Street and Buchanan. Construction bids and construction engineering associated with Grant and Buchanan came in approximately $865,900, leaving approximately $254,100 available within the approved general fund capital improvements portion of the FY24 budget. The required preliminary engineering for Main Street and Independence Streets is estimated to be about $80,000. So we could amend the budget, taking more or less $80,000 out of Grant Buchanan, that line item, putting $80,000 in a new line item for Main Street and Independence Street. There's no adverse impact to the appropriation ordinance or the budget. It's just reallocating those funds based upon estimates, bids that we got this year. So we have money available to do that. So it is recommended City Council approve ordinance 24-44 so that we can cut the engineers loose on preliminary engineering for those streets with hopefully with the anticipation of rehabbing those streets as early as next year.
Any comments or questions, Terry?
I have a question. So the $80,000 reallocated from Grant Buchanan, so you're not doing anything differently from the repaving of those roads?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Anything else? Is there a motion to approve resolution 2024, a resolution 2024-44, a resolution of the city council of the city of Monticello amending the city budget for fiscal year 2024?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments, questions? Hearing or seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Woodham,
Yes.
Mr. Carey,
Yes.
Ms. Lively,
Yes.
Mr. Piercy,
Yes.
Mr. Brock,
Yes.
Mr. Broderick,
Yes.
Mr. Coon,
Yes.
Mr. Burris,
Yes.
and Ms. Young.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, alderpersons' reports. Since you always vote last, Elaine, you can go first.
Well, I wanted to congratulate the mayor and Mike Kuhn and other members of the Monticello Summer Singers on their wonderful concert. I think it was very well received, and I got a lot of comments that it was very nice and a very nice community event.
Appreciate that. Now, Elaine did play her violin
Well,
for one of the
that
tunes. She was gonna tell you that. It was wonderful.
and I also wanted to ask what the policy or in terms of like cooling centers during heat waves for senior citizens, if the city has them set up and advertised.
I will start and then hand it over to Police Chief Ross. I believe that is, comes from directive from EMA, Emergency Management Agency.
So the emergency management sets them up because they are responsible for staffing. I ran into that when I was the EMA director. We could have cooling centers, we could have warming centers, but you just can't leave a building wide open. So someone has to be there to staff it. Cooling centers are a little easier to do. We have staff here, or I'm sorry, the community center has staff there. Warming center is a little different. Those people, get cold after the sun goes down at 4 o'clock this winter. So then somebody has to staff those warming centers. So everything gets kind of pushed on the EMA.
Are you aware of anything being established?
They already established one at the community center. They pushed out, hey, you can go to your local library too. I think there's one in BMET for public housing, and I can't remember where the third.
But there is availability. Okay, great.
And then finally, I just wanted to clarify that contrary to previous comments, the Planning Zoning Board, as a previous member for the past 5 years, that the Planning Zoning Board does carefully consider each case and does not rubber stamp or just automatically, go through things like that. I know that it seems that many things go forth, but a lot of the setbacks and other regulations come from a long time ago, like decades ago, and haven't really been updated. So that is something that Planning Zoning Board is also considering a project is updating all of those regulations. But again, I just wanted to clarify for Planning Zoning Board.
Thank you.
That was nice.
Ryan?
Nothing tonight?
Cole?
No, sir.
Andrea? Terry? Never mind. Mike?
Yeah, I just want to thank the mayor for leading these summer singers again.
I didn't fall off the stage one more year. Anything else? Thank you. Eric?
I'm good.
Wendell?
My only comments to the mayor about the summer singers comes from the coffee clutch. They all advised that you should speak louder when you have a microphone.
Right, you know what?
They couldn't hear a word you were saying. Now, Mr. Kuhn, on the other hand, they were able to hear him perfectly. Here we go. Passing the buck, okay.
Mine is, they like to keep my voice mellow, and
I told him that you
my wife crabbed about it.
were always soft spoken. That, other than that, the comments were that they were very pleased with it, but they had a hard time. And a lot of them are like me, they're hard of hearing, so they had a hard time hearing
They wouldn't like some of the stuff.
what you had to say. So, but Other than that, as I get around, looks like the sidewalk construction is well underway up around Grant Street and up in there. They're working hard on that, getting the curb and gutter and the approaches done. So hopefully we move forward with that situation. Terry, if you have the opportunity to make a note, there are a couple sizable potholes in the street out here on the south side of the park, right here in that block. If somebody could throw some coal patch
Livingston here.
knows, yeah, just, there's one right close to the stop sign that's pretty good size and pretty deep. So if somebody could handle that. Other than that, I don't have anything. Thank you.
Tom?
Nothing tonight.
Right.
Public Works did a great job. They tearing up stuff. They tear up stuff really good. And they cleaned it up real well. I was shocked and impressed. I didn't expect that to happen already. So, hey, I was going to play one more time, but oh,
Okay.
Play on the dirt out there. There's dirt there.
it doesn't play pickleball.
Let's turn it over to our police chief, Robert Ross.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Officer Wooten graduated last Thursday. His first shift was Sunday. Today's day 2, so he's doing very well. I was listening to him on the radio, very fluid, very comfortable on the radio, so that bodes well. We've given a preliminary offer to another officer, contingent upon that person passing a physical and the psych exam. The physical was last week and passed. The psych exam was this afternoon. I should get a call tomorrow morning. We also have one kind of on deck that we're doing the background on now. As with anything else, over the last week or two, our domestic and mental health calls have gone up. That includes last Friday having to go to the hospital for a gentleman that was not acting correctly. But luckily, that kind of goes into our next bullet, body cameras. Thank God for body cameras because that helped quite a bit on that call. Our new ones are hooked up and we're hoping to go live Thursday.
That's all?
Unless,
No, I don't need any. I know what you want to talk about. Don't bother. Mr. Summers, city administrator.
I have nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Bless your heart.
Did have a couple questions. Do we expect some update on Freedom Park this year? I mean, I know that it was part of that 6 million, but we haven't done anything yet. And then the second thing is, I know that we had budgeted for some new plan for Oberheim Park, and I would assume we would get that sometime before we talk budget, because there may be some things in there we need to put in next year's budget, and that's coming around the corner.
Yeah, to Freedom Park, we have a sketch from the engineering firm. The staff met with what I refer to the stakeholders, VFW, American Legion, and Active Duty Sign Committee. They are all still in favor of a more local, scaled down version of Freedom Park to continue forward, and a permanent home for all the active duty signs in one location. So we should we're still working on that. That's probably going to roll over into next year's budget. So we won't be in the red as much as we had purposely planned for this year. But as a heads up, if we need to continue these, we'll be in the red next year. Not as bad this year. And that's just how we have to operate. And then Oberheim Park, we have a sketch of a really scaled back version, a couple ball fields. We still need the number of soccer fields from the original plan or the latest plan. Parking, as little infrastructure extension as we can get, but still, have fluid traffic flow kind of to 47 and avoid going through the residential subdivision until maybe a later date. So we're still working on that, and hopefully we'll get some cost to plug and chug in FY25's budget.
But the planning, I think we had 75,000 or whatever for the planning for this year. Will we expect some result on that presented to the council before the end of the year?
Yes, that the plan is to move forward with the preliminary engineering, if you will. And in that comes the cost estimate.
Okay.
So we should have some pretty close numbers to talk about.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
See you in a while.
See you in a while.
Make sure you